retirement reform plan known as Secure 2.0 is finally on the move again on Capitol Hill, and it could have big implications for your nest egg. For one, the plan gives workers more options for catch-up contributions as they near retirement, up to $10,000 per year. Another key provision gradually raises the age for taking mandatory distributions from 401k plans or IRAs to 75 from 72. Let's talk more about this with Bogart Wealth President and CEO James Bogart. James, good to see you here this morning. How transformative is this for those nearing retirement?
I'd say it obviously depends upon where you're at in terms of retirement savings. The big issue that we're seeing right now is very few Americans are adequately prepared for retirement. Over 50% of Americans at age 60 don't even have retirement plans. And so the hope is with these types of provisions and adjustments that it's going to really dramatically encourage enhancements to retirement savings. Secure Act 2.0 has been something that's been discussed now for almost 2 years. And Americans love a sequel. And so I am glad to see that it's finally getting some momentum.
Hey, James, it's Julie here. So what is, to you, the most helpful provision that's in this bill right now?
Again, I think it depends a little bit where someone's at on the spectrum. But in terms of accumulation of wealth, we know the time value of money, saving early on, or at least starting to save early on, has the most impact. So I love the student loan match provisions that they're putting in there. I also love that they're putting in Roth 401k matching options, and then even having enhancements to the catch-up saving options. For more affluent households, obviously delaying RMDs allows tax-deferred growth for longer, which will benefit them, at least from a tax management perspective as well.
How should one be moving money around in light of this, or should they?
Well, I think this is where having a plan is the most important part of retirement savings. And the big issue really comes back to, in my opinion, education here, whether it's having a retirement plan itself or understanding the impact of savings. And that really when we're talking about moving money around or where we're adjusting or allocating, it's increasing savings percentages as much as you possibly can, which is increasingly challenging in this environment with inflationary pressures right now.
And so basically what you're saying is there's not any education mandate or structure included in this plan, that it lets you, it sort of gives some tools, but it's not telling you the importance of using them. Is that right? And how would you go about putting that in the bill? What would it look like?
And this is where I would probably, because think about it, over 50% of companies don't even have retirement plans. And so I think when you're talking about onboarding an employee, you obviously are training them to do their job, but financial education is paramount here. And I think a lot of people don't save simply because they think about their take-home pay and what their cash flows are, not necessarily appreciating the impact long-term. And so, as we talk about some of the components of the bill, there are some things that have come up short, even with the current form of the bill. And I think, really the whole essence of this is that Americans don't have enough for retirement. And so to me, I think there needs to be some level of mandating at the corporate level for employee education on the need for savings. And this is one where I think generationally we haven't seen it in the colleges or even in high schools, where people are required to pass some level of financial literacy program. And so an uneducated consumer, no matter what we're discussing, really can make erratic or bad decisions.
Yeah, definitely. Something that's sort of linked to this is the idea of automatic enrollment in the companies that do have these types of plans. It seems like the bill doesn't have that kind of provision, right?
Well, it does for new enrollments, but it's legacying all of the old plans, or grandfathered in. And the concern that I would anticipate with that is that it might disincentivize businesses from having retirement plans, but also disincentivize, if they have a plan, that they're mandated to increase that percentage every single year, from hiring new employees.
This is really interesting stuff.
Go ahead, Julie.
Sorry, I was done. I was just interested in what he was saying.
getting ready for that jobs report. All right, we'll leave it there. Bogart Wealth President CEO James Bogart, good to see you. We'll talk to you soon.